Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Awesome Albums with Awesome Andrew. When I was younger, I struggled to distinguish what was considered rock and what was blues. And then you have some artists that are considered blues rock, and that just makes things so much more difficult. Over the years though, I've been able to figure out the difference between the two, but there are still some who really ride that line and they keep it pretty balanced. Often considered to be a white Jimi Hendrix, I want to talk about Robin Trower's Bridge of Sighs. This album is considered his best, reaching number 7 in the US during a chart stay for 31 weeks and was certified gold status, meaning it sold over 500,000 copies, and for good reason. Pretty much every song on here is awesome, and today we're going to talk about it. First, let us introduce the band. Naturally, the man the band is named after, Robin Trower, a severely underrated and amazing guitar player, James Dewar, who is our singer and our bass player, and Reg Isidore on drums. This is Isidore's final Trower album too, and was replaced by Bill Lorden on 1975's For Earth Below. Like I was saying earlier, Robin Trower's style is heavily influenced by Hendrix, then adding the soulful vocals of Dewar, Trower was able to push the boundaries of what a three-man band was capable of. Bridge of Sighs was recorded in 16 or 17 days, and they were touring a lot during that time, and they were sneaking a lot of material into their sets, and so they were already very well rehearsed and already knew the songs quite well. They recorded in a big studio and basically all played sectioned off in the same room. The album was released on April 20th, 1974. Before we start talking about the music, I want to talk about that album cover. The album artwork was created by Funky Paul Olsen, who actually created the artwork for several of Trower's albums. And you can see a similar style, especially on the first 4 here. Oh, and of course I plan to talk about all of them at some point, but back to Bridge of Sighs. The artwork, according to Olsen, is a 2D rendering of a 3-dimensional expression of the uniquely 2D, 3D Mobius, which is an elegant mathematical and physical concept. I simply wondered what a 3-dimensional Mobius would look like, so I took some modeling clay, plasticine in England, and modeled the form, then painted what I made in clay. End quote by Olsen. The original painting he made was turned sideways by mistake in production. The original painting was purchased by Chris Wright, owner of the Chrysalis Records, and is now on display in Chrysalis's office in Shepherd's Bush. The original album cover was darker green and is actually upside down to the re-released tannish color cover. The back cover is similar to the front cover, with what appears to be another Mobius. Whether it's the same one or not remains to be seen, but I love that shade of green. Now, let's hear some of Robin's guitar work, and I hope by the end of this video you'll agree with me on just how awesome of a guitar player he is. The first track starts off really powerful and fast. He plays gigantic power chords while Dewar delivers up lyrics about living in the day of the eagle, until Trower plays a really awesome guitar solo. This song has also seen a few covers. It was covered on Billy Idol's guitarist Steve Stevens' third solo album, Memory Crash, as well as Tesla's 2007 album, Reel to Reel. The title track starts off with some eerie chimes, followed by a very powerful guitar riff. I love this guitar riff, but I'm not the only one who does. Trower loves it too. He explained, the funny thing about the title song is that I had the opening guitar riff for about 6 months before I can come up with the turnaround section. I loved that opening lick so much, I was determined to make the second half just as perfect. So I waited and waited, and then it came to me. The band played it for the first time at Winterland in San Francisco, and we received something like a 10-minute standing ovation. It obviously had magic. Robin Trower explained in an interview with Guitar World how the album, and the song I guess, got its name. He said that he had the first line of the song for years, and then one day he saw some sports pages which listed a racehorse called Bridge of Sighs and thought that would be a great title. That is a cool name for a racehorse. I'm not a betting guy, but I'd definitely put money for a horse named Bridge of Sighs. Although I'd probably do it just because of the album name, but it's still a cool name. Speaking of naming the song after stuff, the song is also named after the real Bridge of Sighs located in Venice, Italy. The bridge got its name in the 17th century when prisoners who passed through it on their way to the prison cells on the other side would most likely see the beautiful sight of the lagoon and the island of San Giorgio and freedom for the last time. The song concludes epically with the sound of the wind blowing, and don't ask me what they're saying here, I don't know what they're saying. The music stops, but the wind just keeps blowing and blows us into the next song in this place. The strong wind produces a very evocative melody. Dewar's vocals are magical, and Trower's guitar work is once again fantastic. It's a slower song, but it's still a good one. Every note is accented beautifully by the precise beats of Isidore, while the song is a true showcase of Trower in every other way, and you could almost call this song a power ballad. One of the few songs not written solely by Trower, rather co-written with Dewar. A mid-tempo jam, opening with some commanding drum work and Trower's Hendrix-like guitar speed. Trower then shows off, going crazy on that whammy bar, and I mean, just listen to him! Guitar World pointed out that Fool of Me and Day of the Eagle have an R&B vibe, and they asked him if he was into disco in the 70s. Robin laughs. No, I don't really like disco. I think that side of those songs might have come from our drummer at the time, Reg Isidore, who was really into all kinds of R&B music and brought that element into our sound. And our singer, the late, great James Dewar, was essentially a soul singer. I would classify myself as a rock musician with blues and R&B influences, because all good rock music has an element of black music in its foundation. End quote by Trower. The song, of course, ends with more epic whammy bar, which then fades out. This song starts off with a very funky beat. Two Rolling Stoned is the longest song on the album at just about 7.5 minutes. I feel that this song, or at least the first part of the song, is Dewar's time to shine. At least until the guitar solo. This is just the first guitar solo in the song. There are two of them. A couple minutes through, the song slows down to a halt, and then a slow, bluesy guitar comes in here. It's funny to think that this is the same song as what we were listening to a minute ago. Just pretend we're listening to the full song here and not just a sample. If you thought that the first guitar solo sounded cool, here's a second one for you. Naturally, in this part of the song, it's significantly faster than what we heard in the first part of the song. Notice how slow the drum beat is. The variety and speeds of the song definitely make it all the more interesting, and the guitar solo carries out until the end, where it slowly fades out. About to Begin is a slower song, almost a jazzy bit. In that same Guitar World interview, they ask, "You write a lot of slow jams and stoner grooves. Aren't you afraid of boring your audience or putting them to sleep?" He replies to them, "As long as a song has some sort of dynamic or emotional power, the tempo doesn't matter. I love slower songs like Daydream." And About to Begin, as a guitar player, they allow me to go much deeper and really expressive with my playing. End quote by Trower.
To begin, close your eyes, it's a time to begin.
Dropping us in with a little bit of Cowbell.
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
Cowbell. The song is a lot faster paced than About to Begin. Dewar has some great vocals in the song, and then of course you need a guitar solo. This is often seen to be the only real attempt to a pop crossover on the album, but still contains some great late 60s style blues guitar leads, and Isidore's drums and percussion are fantastic as well. I almost feel that this song in particular is the perfect example of all three of them working together and not one overpowering the other. Bit of Sympathy is the final song on the album. You can already hear a lot of distortion on the guitar, which makes it so much cooler. The song has a long midsection sans bass, but with extra hand percussion, giving it a very unique touch. Like Isadore's touching those drums. Bad joke, I guess. Anyway, naturally, Doer pleads for a little bit of sympathy, kind of like what I'm asking from you for that bad joke I just gave. After which, Trower launches into a solo that is all mayhem and craziness. And that guitar solo in itself, as well as the tempo, keeps changing and is really cool, and the solo just keeps going until the song fades out. The 2007 remastered CD also included some live BBC versions of Bridge of Sighs, In This Place, and Little Bit of Sympathy, but also included some songs from For Earth Below, from the John Peel sessions, so definitely check those out too. I hope today's video you got to hear just a little bit of what makes Robin Trower so awesome and what makes this album awesome. I'm kind of tempted to put this list on my list of flawless albums. I don't really feel there's a bad song on this album, and even if there is, there are so many other great songs on it that you forget about a week one. This has been Awesome Andrew telling you that Robin Trower's Bridge of Sighs is an awesome album, and I hope you hit that subscribe button and like this video, and I hope to see you in the next episode. See you guys then.